Word. Hope everybody's doing all right.
If this ain't a movie though, tell me.
The barbershops, set the whole, drop the jewel, spark the breeze, along days when they said that ain't but a phase. Axe mix, axe king, axe E. Donnie Simpson was the first to quote E. Said him, E. Turner, Lee, and then we found TV. Set the whole state blaze before the vibe. Source before diamond, before hip hop came just rhyming. Now sit on standby, and then they front me like who the fuck am I? Down, kick back, come back. Tell the whole world the truth. See, hip hop is not just for the youth. Now we're supposed to congregate, not separate. But look, divide the kids. Look, death rates Change your ways, change your flow. You was a queen, now a hoe. I only speak what the DOC knows. Below, then you all gonna go. Cause you're living rich, you thanking God. So damn the poor who made you large. Who is God? This question is vital. Understanding God is just a title, like teacher, doctor. Talk about what you know, what you rehearse, or what you heard. Tradition, master your sword, and your position. Set the whole city ablaze, headed to lines, fronted to page, centered to fold, right stage. A star was born, a legend is made. Yep, understand what I'm talking about. School and try to shut my mouth. You gon' take this ass whooping, cause I'm gonna turn it straight ahead. I'm looking, fear not. It's deep, look, just rolling with me. You got time to run that. Crime out, so put the fire. Time to get what you deserve. Here's the pitch. What I curve. I might giving you signs. Swinging, I gotcha. Set the whole city ablaze. Headed to lines. Fronted, centered to fold. Stage. A star was born. A legend is made.
Peace, peace. Hope everybody's doing well tonight. It's your boy Maurice Soul Fighter Taylor is working on getting things set up and done. Man, I hope everybody's doing good. I hope your day's going well. I had a rough week. Actually, my month has been rough. A lot of people been going through it, huh? But man, thankfully we've had some beautiful sunny days in the last couple of days. See, today, I'm gonna head over into the weather here. It felt like it got up into the 60s today. And then tonight it's going back down to 27 degrees northwest. Winds 20 miles per hour. It says clear to partly cloudy. Low 27, winds northeast 15 to 25 miles per hour. Winds could occasionally gust over 40 miles per hour. Humidity 41%. UV index 010. Moon rise 6:11 a.m. New moon. Moon set 5:09 p.m. I know that's the first time I've heard of the moon rise. Have to look that up, check that out. Anyway, tomorrow's going to be sunny again. 44 degrees is the highest, 31 is the low. 0% chance of rain, northwest winds 15 miles per hour. Sunday, 45 degrees Celsius, 14 degrees is low, partly cloudy and windy. 3% chance of rain, northwest winds 24 miles per hour. Now I'm in Massachusetts, so, those of you who are up this way will feel those effects. Yes. What month are we in? We are in March. And March is Women's History Month. And me personally, I'm celebrating women of the African diaspora. Props to all women who work to make the world a better place, no matter where you're at. But we also know that women of the African diaspora have it the worst. So that's my focus is, you know. I'm gonna play a little music here. It's an independent artist. When you came on, you was listening to Dr. Awkward, Keep Moving, and then Doc Ice, Come Back. Lost the Rock, It Ain't Easy by my man, D-La Bray.
This song is dedicated to all the folks in the struggle. My grandmother, Mary Bell Dixon, my auntie Samantha, you know what I'm saying? Everybody that's doing it and trying to make it, you know what I'm saying? Let's do this. Yo. Just wanna see you. Stop. Stick to the plot. It's dead right. Come on. You know what I mean? Trying to get to the top. Just wanna see you. Stop. Stick to the plot. Yo, this ain't coming from nobody special, but don't give up, dog, cause I ain't gonna let you. No need to lecture, life is gonna stress you and test you. But like Pop, I bet you can get knowledge, respect the scholars. Beat the text in Malcolm X's autobiography, or the great Bob Marley's discography. Root Saga G, that was college to me. It taught me that this country ain't giving no apologies for hanging black folks like apostrophe. Honestly, the just bothers me. African American policy, democracy. Hell no, not for me. I'm a king, but these cops try to rodney me. Kill another, probably me. Yeah. Just wanna see you. Stop. Stick to the plot. It's dead right. Come on. Trying to get to the top. Just wanna see you. Stop. Stick to the plot.
Dropping my head, making my own bed. Naive at times believe whatever it says. It's not peaches and cream in the ghetto, rich and fun dream. Diamonds and fame, it's not as sweet as it seems. Easy to achieve without stumbling, falling, getting back up, walking toward balling. I wish these suckers give room. Eating with my hands, didn't have a silver spoon. Want to understand simple thoughts of a fool or a reputable. Without a tool, live life without rules, regulations, and boundaries. Time is the game now, support my family. Check for convo and expected temptations. Dealer brand, Quinn rank in the nation. Pressure makes diamonds, pressure bust pipes, pressure on the rock. I'ma show you a lot.
Just wanna see you. Stop. Stick to the plot. It's dead right. Come on. Trying to get to the top. Just wanna see you. Stop. Stick to the plot.
So what you gonna do then?
So what you gonna do then?
Take care of the kids, so what you gonna do then?
Stand and defend, the Prince and Queen got plans to win. And I can't pretend I don't feel the pain or feel the strain when sunshine kill the rain. Cause this dark cloud follows me. Will the hood just swallow me? We all grow up in poverty, owning properties an anomaly. Ask Grandma Labrie on Holly Street. We can't get over the hump like black eyed peas with this crab in the bucket mentality. So I'ma just sit back, give back to the sea, back to the street, spit back to the beat. That's yours to keep. Bring them all to the D. Get down, don't sleep. Just wanna see you. Stop. Stick to the plot. It's dead right. Come on. Trying to get to the top. Just wanna see you. Stop. Stick to the plot.
Just get into it. You don't want to, but you got to do it. No need to hate, just keep it moving. This is the way we keep it grooving. It's day and night, it's just a movement. You be you and I'ma be me too. And we can make paper comfortable. And the way you tank when full of option new.
I guess they thought we was behind me doing the piece of the pot. Keep our hands down, cause we was never the sky, break out the houses. All we need is to get our places right. Dangerous Americans dreaming our faces. Only way to get on was 2 millions of black faces. We bringing in the when we catching the cases. The history was complicated, but the plan was basic. Everybody get this money on whatever it takes. Like bottle sell, sex sell, drugs sell, soul. Just call ourselves because that's all it knows. So much rage and passion is that we don't lack the wisdom and patience of previous generations. We the keys to the families from the pit. Runs from the concrete history in the making. And you can't escape this because it's contagious. Yeah, they had their ancestors, but we got their kids. So we press on, keep riding regardless of what they did. It ain't easy, but it's necessary or else they win. We got strength open into every fiber of our spirit. So break cycles, break statistics, and fight with your peers. Hearts of God, and God, His love comes within. It's just a message from Keanu, Dylan, Free, and Sam Quinn.
I want to give a shout out to hip hop's greatest, Tupac Shakur. You know what I'm saying? And Richie Rich for the inspiration on the hook. This how we doing it though. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Shouts out to everybody that ever struggled with their blood, sweat, tears, and eyes.
Yeah. Black History Month is short this month, but we gonna keep it moving, you know what I'm saying?
Black Panthers, Oakland. We on it.
The whole thing. Revolutionaries worldwide.
Moving,
Keep it moving.
forward. Get what you want.
Time bless. One love. Let's go.
What is it? It's a government. How is it government? There's always a government there in a bunker or a plane. There's no government, police, no army. TV, radio, electricity.
Everybody put your ones up, put your ones up, put your ones up for one love. Everybody put your ones up, put your ones up, put your ones up for one love. The challenge is to keep the balance, stay sane in this world. Of my talents, returns to the source, sitting in silence around the world. Want the people a while while they wilding y'all. The challenge is to keep the balance, stay safe. This world expressing my talents, return to the source, sitting in silence around the world. Want the people a wilding on a tight. The balance of act, moving forward, never looking back, subtract negatives, impossible. Just use that's a fact now. Moving like this and moving like that. The movement breaks like the places that lack doctors around you, busting the gas. Find divinity in you, love is where it's at, my man. Gotta do what you can, my man. Did it for his fam, and then my man took freedom by his hand. My man proved it was the bigger man. Make a stand, but don't forget to make a plan, but don't forget to make it rain. The turntable scratch with my hand, chuck juices, peas producers understand now. The challenge is to keep the balance, stay sane in this world, expressing my talents, return to the source, around all the people who fight. The challenge is to keep the balance, stay sane in this world, expressing my talents, return to the source, sit in silence, around the world, all the people who fight. Young brother on the hottest block, on the hottest in my young brother, twin loaded blocks, trying to feed the hunger star before it takes you underwater, the path of beauty and what the God fought with math, music, and thunder science and life. Eyes locked behind eyes, the kites, write letters, and with tears, saying praise at night. Younger wondering when the struggle will end, working on too many jobs, trying to make the ends. Lord have mercy, God, I'm worthy. Bring water full of knowledge, cause my thoughts are thirsty. What they said, they don't be there. What they informed. Porque es líder på casa, don't be vivid. The only daddy mind, deep down in your palate, young sister with the fly figure, recognize and you wise, and you realize, beauty lies inside, take a picture. The challenge is to keep the balance, stay sane in this world, expressing my talents, return to the source, sitting in silence around the world, more the people are wild, y'all. The challenge is to keep the balance, stay sane in this world, expressing my talents, return to the source, sitting in silence around the world, more the people are wild, not everybody put your ones up for one love. put your ones up for one love. Everybody put your ones up, put your ones up, put your ones up for one love. Everybody keep your ones up, keep your ones up, keep your ones up for one love. Everybody put your ones up, put your ones up. Put your ones up for one up in the front, y'all. Put your ones up for one up in the back, y'all. Put your ones up for one up to the left, y'all. Put your ones up for one up to the right, y'all. Put your ones up for one love.
And bless.
One love, one love, one love. That's what we need, y'all. One love, one love, one love, one love. It's unity, y'all. The challenge is to keep the balance, stay sane in this world, expressing my talents, return to the source, sitting in silence around the world, for the people who want what they want, yeah. The challenge is to keep the balance, stay sane in this world, expressing my talents, return to the source, sitting in silence around the world, for the people who want everybody put your ones up, put your ones up for one love, put your ones up for one love, everybody put your ones up, put your ones up, put your ones up for one love, everybody put your ones up, keep your ones up, put your ones up for one love. Everybody put your ones up, put your ones up, put your ones up for one love. Have the talents to keep the balance, stay sane in this world, suppressing my balance, return to the source, sit in silence around the world, for the people who find what they want, y'all. The talents to keep the balance, stay sane in this world, expressing my balance, return to the source, sit in the silence around the world, for the people who find everybody put your ones up, put your ones up for one love, put your ones up for one love. Everybody put your ones up. Keep your ones up, keep your ones up for one love. Everybody put your ones up, put your ones up, put your ones up for one love. Everybody put your ones up, put your
Ones up. Put your ones up.
one love, one love, one love, one love. One love, one love, one love. It's unity, y'all.
Yo, it's my man Tim Bless. Love that dude, man. It's a real cool dude. Hey, caller, how you doing? Caller, you there? If you fidgeted, how you doing, caller? Can you introduce yourself? Make sure that my speakers is working. So, caller, you there? Sup, caller?
Hello, this is Jerry. You hear me?
Hey, Jay, where you been, man? Been calling you for like the last 5 minutes. I'm about to hang up on you.
Well, so what would be new? That would be par for the course, man. You know. So,
What do you mean,
but
part?
I got in. I got in anyway. So,
bro, when have I ever hung up on you, bro? Hey, Brenda, can you turn on your camera so we can see you?
say what?
I was hollering at Brenda real quick. Brenda just logged on. There you go. How you doing, Brenda?
Can you see me?
I can see you.
And can you hear me okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh my goodness, this technology.
Hey, you know, it's interesting because WebEx is so much more secure than Zoom. And yeah, Zoom was created without any security. They added some security, but always have issues with trying to build the security back in rather than building a program with security, right?
Oh,
And so
okay.
when you have so many Black and Latino people who have economic issues, or people in general, right? Well, you're putting our information out there for people to steal, right? So, or let me put it this way. They've allowed it to be easier for people to break in and be able to access our information through our computers. They knew that while they were allowing all these schools and stuff to use their projects, right? But the bigger problem is a lot of these schools, a lot of these educational institutions didn't even care about the fact that our HIPAA information was accessible to anybody that wanted it if they knew how to bypass these easy Zoom security features. So I've always used WebEx. Only use Zoom when people like, but I just can't use WebEx. Like, click on the link, log in. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, it's really sad that people aren't really looking into this situation. And people are like, well, they added security to Zoom. That's not the problem. Here's the problem. If I committed a crime, right? White folks still use that against me as to whether or not they should hire me. Zoom technically committed a crime by not ensuring that there was adequate security on their product, but the United States government are still signing contracts with Zoom.
Wow.
Now, but you still have black folks who committed simple crimes, and white folks make it incredibly hard for them to still get jobs. Really? It just doesn't make sense to me. Anyway, now I'm not saying that WebEx isn't breakable, but at least they built it with security in mind.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And they continue to update their security, so on and so forth. You know, so, but anyway.
No, I never, now I know about WebEx. I'm going to use it
Yeah.
because, it wasn't until you were the one who told me about it. So I was like, WebEx.
You just gotta look, no matter what you use, you gotta make sure that the computer that you're utilizing has the resources capable of using the features of the program. I was speaking to someone the other day and it was like, well, WebEx didn't let me do this, do that. No, was it WebEx or was it your computer resources? I don't know. You gotta look at the computer resources. You know? But anyway, Jerry's on tonight. Jerry, Brenda Leese. Can you say your last name for us, Brenda Leese?
Brenda Liz Cepeda.
No,
I knew I was going to get you with that.
Hello, Brenda. Welcome.
Hi, how are you?
I'm well. Where are you from? Are you on the East Coast, the West Coast, or somewhere in between?
I live here in Springfield, Mass.
Okay.
She's out this way, bro, but her effects is worldwide, bro. Her effects is worldwide. So we're gonna wait for a couple minutes to see if some other folks log on. The last couple of weeks has been slow. We've had some good weeks where we've had, some, people log in and stuff like that. So we're just gonna wait a little bit. What's gonna happen tonight is we're gonna interview Brenda Leese Cepeda. How do you say it?
Okay, let me give you the other version. Cepeda.
No. Go ahead. Let me try it.
Let me give you the other version. Cepeda.
Cepeda.
There you go.
Brenda Leese Cepeda. See, I knew if you just gave me another chance, I would do better. You know what I'm saying? She's like, let me give you the European version, bruh.
Let me give you the other version,
Your tongue is broke, bro. Let me give you the other version. Thank you very much for being on Poetic Recovery tonight. Yes. I appreciate it. So we're celebrating Women's History Month. Yes. And the way this is gonna go is we're gonna get real deep into some issues. But I wanna talk to you about your history as an artist, being a woman. And your experience with the world, perhaps touch on some issues between men and women and things that you feel as a woman that needs to get better and addressed, right? Now, these issues that you speak about as men, we're not allowed to respond.
Thank you for that.
You're welcome. We're allowed to listen. We're not allowed to respond. But the only thing we can do is ask a question for clarity.
Okay.
That's it. There's no there's no, when we do poetry readings and there's a few of us, we do constructive criticism and stuff like that. There's none of that. There's none of that. So, and that's so that we can honor you and to ensure that as a sister, your voice is heard. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Welcome. We're going to get to some music. This is T Swan Changes. Let's get it.
A 23-year-old man was shot in the head and escaped in India.
Days of Springfield celebrated the 4th of July. The city was bustling with activity. Everyone out in the pontoons during the evening. Fireworks could be heard all around, but here on Boston Road, it was gunshot.
Yeah. Yeah, welcome to my city filled up with dreams and want to be thugs. All these niggas trying to fit in because they just get love. That they go home with basketball, but that's not just like for shooting that they do. What will it change, Lord? I get tired of witnessing all these mothers, families, and friends enduring the pain, Lord. I know I'm different. The environment I'm living in could put me in that predicament. So when they know my name, Lord, when it rains, Lord, what will keep me dry? Because I ain't trying to fall what society's trying to trap me. And they told me be alert on top of everything that's happening. And never let go of anything I find passionate. How can I be confident with everything that's hitting us? The voice of one boy doesn't have the power to switch it up, but it has the power to start an epidemic. Yeah, to heaven is the limit.
Springfield Police by some rebirths in just 4 days past. It proved to be one of the deadliest weekends of the year. The city's going crazy. We know. It's getting worse and worse every day.
Yeah. Should I take the God? Can I escape the God? My people dying every day. Can I escape the odds? I keep my music clean because my mama never raised a slab. I'm trying to take it to a higher level. Can I raise the now? This place isn't safe with all my desires. How we gonna move on? Only thing we're growing is tired. Why you associate with these clouds when I know that I'm higher? Why is everything I don't want to be the fuel of my fire? I can barely watch the news. I swear it's really too much. Brothers killing each other. Ain't no better than the Ku Klux. I was moving the streets. Anxious to pull the trigger. I try to figure it out, but it's something I couldn't give up. To never take my drive, that's something I wouldn't give up. Things remaining the same, ain't kind of free for a change. This game's a shame, but I still put my heart in it. It's approaching the point I hate to say I'm a part of it. Let's take a moment and reflect upon the lost souls. My sisters and brothers who's caught up on the crossroads. It's a catastrophe. It's a sad sight looking around and my city's drowning in apathy. More respect because it's more valuable than money. And being broke is a joke. Having money must not be funny. It's a cold world. You can feel it with a thousand sweaters. I gotta eat some news because it's either now or never.
Leading to bloodshed and lives lost across the city of homes for the weekend. Play live in Springfield. Oh.
So I do need to say something. So hold on. Jerry don't know how to mute his mic. Let me help Jerry mute his mic. Let me help you out, Jerry. I can hear Jerry moving around, you know what I'm saying? Like he doing jumping jack and his phone is in his back pocket. Like I'm just messing with you, Jerry. So one thing I want to talk about is I'm in a steering committee with CPOC. It's a subcommittee of SLANTS, which is the Asian American cultural organization addressing political issues and cultural issues that Asian Americans face in the United States of America. And you know, when I got this opportunity to be on the steering committee, I was like, absolutely, man, because like I was really appalled at the attacks on the Asian American community. You know, yeah, young black kids, whatever, running up and like pushing over older Asian Americans. And I was like, nah, man, hell no. That is not, no. I don't care what ethnic background they are, it ain't cool. It ain't cool
Right.
at all. You know what I'm saying? And so I wanted to be able to make that connection between our communities. So we're working on CPOC is working on communities, musicians of color conference on June 18th and 19th. And I want to invite you to become part of that to ensure that the indigenous culture is heard. Bomba, you know what I'm saying? And, you know, other music of Puerto Rico. So I want to invite you into that process to make sure that, you know, your voice is represented. You know, so, hey, look, I ain't got money, but when I come into some stuff, you know what I'm saying, I do my best to share the love, you know what I'm
Right.
saying, and
I'll
opportunities.
be there. If it's for you, you know I'll be there. You just gotta
Well,
give
no,
me
that's
the
not gonna be for me. That's gonna be for y'all. That's gonna be for us. You know what I'm saying?
right,
For the community, because this conference has been long in the making. You know, people in the African diaspora need to know what resources are available for, you know, musicians of color. We need to be able to know who these music executives are that we can connect to. And we need to have control of our own destiny. You know,
right.
and so, you know, do I benefit? Absolutely. When, you know, conscious people benefiting, people are conscious about their communities actually doing for their communities, get access to these resources, we all benefit. You know what I'm saying? So this ain't just for me, you know, so but yeah, I'll send you the information. I'll send you the overview deck, you know, so you can get that
Please.
information. For those who I'm gonna see if I can get you to speak at the conference. You know what I'm saying? So I'll talk to the director, see if I can hook that up for you.
Oh, that's amazing. Thank you.
It's gonna be virtual. We're gonna have upwards to 500 people in participation. Well, that's the number we're working towards. I hope we can get more. We got, man, like, listen, like, we're in talks with Stick from Dead Prez to be a
Oh
keynote.
wow.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. So I'm not inviting you to some, like, you know, ragtag, you know, event. This is like upscale. You know what I'm saying? The directors don't work with Killer Mike. They're in talks with Killer Mike to be a keynote speaker as well. You know what I'm saying? So this is up there. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, I really appreciate the work that you, your husband, and the whole group does to ensure that, you know, Puerto Ricans know their blackness, their African blood. You know what I'm saying? To ensure that we know as Black people that we're connected to Puerto Rico in the same struggle. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I have a deep respect for your whole organization and the work that you all do. Now, I may not understand the language at times, you know, I'm like, yo, what are they talking about? You know what I'm saying? But, you know, I appreciate y'all, you know, being out front and everything that y'all do for the community, you know, so I want to help broaden that if I can. And I think that
Thank you.
this will help do that. So, you know, I'll get y'all connected and make sure that happens. So you're welcome. Jerry, you there? You want to unmute your mic? I'm gonna talk junk to Jerry for a second, then we're gonna get into the interview.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Yeah, hey Jerry. How you doing, Jerry?
I'm doing pretty good. I'm doing pretty well.
So for Women's History Month, I want to get to this right here. I want to talk about Betsy Coleman. Do y'all know who Betsy Coleman was?
The name is familiar, but I can't say I'm familiar with.
Bruh. If you don't know who Betsy Coleman is, bro, you will not be able to fly. So I'm gonna correct that. So after this, you know what I'm saying, you can sing a better rendition of "I Believe I Can Fly." All right, because you know R. Kelly's just whack, so we need somebody to do it better. So who better than Jerry, right? All right, Betsy Coleman was born 1892. She died 1926. Betsy Coleman soared across the sky as an African American and the first Native American woman pilot. Known for performing flying tricks, Coleman's nickname were Brave Betsy, Queen Bess, and the only race aviatric in the world. Her goal was to encourage women and African Americans to reach their dreams. Unfortunately, her career ended with a tragic plane crash, but her life continues to inspire people around the world. Born in Atlanta, Texas on January 26, 1892, Betsy Coleman had 12 brothers and sisters. Her mother, Susan Coleman, was an African-American maid, and her father, George Coleman, was a sharecropper of mixed Native American and African-American descent. In 1901, her father decided to move back to Oklahoma to try to escape the discrimination. Bessy's mother decided not to go with him. Instead, the rest of the family stayed in Waxahachie, Texas. Betsy grew up helping her mother pick cotton and wash laundry to earn extra money. By the time she was 18, she saved enough money to attend a colored agricultural and normal university, now Langston University, in Langston, Oklahoma. She dropped out of college after only one semester because she could not afford to attend. At age 23, Coleman went to live with her brothers in Chicago. She went to the Burnham School of Beauty Culture in 1915 and became a manicurist in a local barbershop. Meanwhile, her brother served in the military during World War I. She came home with stories from her time in France. Her brother John teased her about French women were allowed to learn how to fly airplanes and Betsy could not. This made Betsy want to become a pilot. She applied to many flight schools across the country, but no school would take her because she was both African American and a woman. Famous African American newspaper publisher Robert Abbott told her to move to France where she could learn how to fly. She began taking French classes at night because her application to flight schools needed to be written in French. Finally, Betsy Coleman was accepted at the Caldron Brothers School of Aviation in Le Créteil, France. Francais. She received her international pilot license on June 15, 1921 from the Fédération Aéronautique Internationale. I don't even know if that's how you say it, but want to emphasize that in there. Coleman's dream was to own a plane and to open her own flight school. She gave speeches and showed films of her air tricks in churches, theaters, and schools to earn money. She refused to speak anywhere that was segregated or discriminated against African Americans. In 1922, she performed the first public flight by an African American woman. She was famous for doing loop-the-loops, and making the shape of an 8 in an airplane. People were fascinated by her performances, and she became more popular both in the United States and in Europe. She toured the country giving flight lessons, performing in flight shows, and she encouraged African American women to learn how to fly. I got that from womenshistory.org. Just go in, put in the name if you want to read more information. Nice. So Jerry, now you have that information. Do you believe you can fly? That's really incredible information. I knew that she was the first, Black woman to fly. But man, that story is really incredible, and it really actually lets me know that, you know what, maybe it's time for me to get up out of this country and go someplace else. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. I'm gonna finish my certifications. I'm gonna figure out where I need to go, and I'm gonna go because this country ain't worth it anymore to me. It ain't worth fighting for. It ain't. Looking at what's been happening over this last year,
right.
In 2021, the madness that we got to go through, and not just that, not just from what we go through within our own people, our own communities and stuff like that, to just try to build up it's not even worth it. Yeah, it's not worth it. I mean, I know I've been fighting for like 20 years, and I'd rather move to a country where people like, bro, if you can do it, you can do it. And that's all I
Right.
need. You know what I'm saying? But you as a woman, who, you know, I can't even pretend. I know I look at my mom and what my mom went through, which is really incredible, the internal and external injustice in this country. How do you do it?
I'm still trying to figure out how I wake up and just grab the energy I need to grab to be there for my kids, to be there in the work aspect, to be there for my music, to be there for my center. I'm still putting the pieces together, but I'm so happy that I'm here today speaking with you because I had that moment too, Maurice. I had a moment, I had a situation earlier that happened, and I was so frustrated because it came from family. It came from a situation that they were just talking and saying some stuff that really made me upset, and frustrated. And I said, wow, as a woman, I carry a lot. And there's no room for, I guess, in people's eyes, there's no room for failure because people would talk about the negative of what you do. They won't talk about the positive. You mess up once, they will go on and talk about it as if it was like a novela, like it was, the latest thing. But if you put your positive out there, they won't talk about it. It's like Facebook. They hit like and they keep on going, right? But when they hear something negative, they'll, that'll go on and on and on. And when you was talking about you got to go somewhere, and I told my husband today, I'm like, we need a break. We need a break because sometimes there's so much going on in society that when people focus on little things that you do, it gets like, are we really talking about this? Um so I just want to tell you that I feel, I'm woo, I'm I'm already packing my bags, son.
It's ridiculous. It is so ridiculous. Now, let's talk about the group that you're with.
Yeah.
What is the correct pronunciation?
So my group is called Bomba de Aquí. Bomba de Aquí. It means bomba for here. Bomba here, whether we're in Massachusetts, Connecticut, Puerto Rico, anywhere we go, it's bomba music and we're going to represent it.
And bomba means what?
Bomba is a traditional folklore music that started in Puerto Rico, but it came from Africa.
Right.
And so I would like to get, is it okay if I just move on straight to the history, Maurice, or?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
All right. Okay. So bomba is a traditional folklore music from Puerto Rico. And bomba was born 16th in the 16th century. Now, when I talk about 16th century, I mean the times where African slaves came to Puerto Rico, because we had slaves in Puerto Rico as well. And they came to Puerto Rico and they came with music. They came with language. They came with such um they came with everything that we are learning now from the bomba world came from Africa. Okay? Can you hear the baby in the background, Maurice?
Yes, that's fine. That
Okay.
comes with
Can I tell my
motherhood.
husband to grab my baby real quick? Is that okay?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, I had to because I was like, wait a minute, I think the baby is overpowering. So I am a mother. And my kids are attached to me 24/7.
Nah, I mean, you know that listen, I coming from someone who grew up in foster care and didn't know my mom, I appreciate that. So all my events, everything I do is welcome a family. That's why it's family friendly. You know what I'm saying? Like yours. So I'd be like, I don't have a problem with it, to be honest with you. So
Thank you, hon. Thank you. I'm hearing the baby and I'm like, oh my goodness, wait a minute. I think it overpowers what I'm saying. And I already had to look like, okay. Okay, so in the 16th century, and it's important history to know because I've sat in many circles where they talk about, okay, so we're Latinos, but that's it, you know. And I always say, well, I am identified as Afro Latina because I follow based on what my ancestors, who they are, where they come from. And so we had the slaves come in the 16th century in Puerto Rico and different islands of Puerto Rico. So it wasn't a specific island, it was different islands. And they brought in music, they brought in language. And from there, bomba has evolved to, something, it had evolved, right? It became different every, within time. Now, when I speak about bomba, back then it was used as a communication because the slaves that were in Puerto Rico, they didn't speak the same language. They weren't from a certain area from Africa. It was different areas, so they spoke different languages, and what they shared was the music, their drumming. That was their communication. They would drum. You might hear lots of times different people say they would drum together on a Sunday or they would drum together on a weekend, but they would drum on a particular day when they're together to share, to talk, to news, to express themselves. It's an expression. Females would dance to express themselves. They would talk about what's going on in their songs. They would talk about how to run, how to hide, to get away from the situation. The drums they would get from the barrels, from their masters, their rum barrels. They would get them. They would use this goat skin to make the drums. You know, we have we have adapted and learned from this music and this music that the Africans brought to us, and a lot of people would question why. And some people question to this day, what is your bomba music about? Why is it connected to black people or to Africa? Because it came from Africa. It's a music that came from Africa that was brought into Puerto Rico, and we learned it and we respect it, which is really important. We respect it and we continue using the music how they use the music, which is a communication and expression. Now, I don't know if you remember, but in the news about the news about what had occurred with George in Puerto Rico was the first bombazo that they did at an expression to express the negativity that was going on with the Black Lives Matter. So this music, and I talk about it with such passion because this is what I do. I teach the youth. I talk to students, I talk to universities, I talk to people because we need to get better to learning about different people's culture, different people background, where people come from, you know. So when people ask me, are you, oh, you're Hispanic, you're Latina? No, I'm Afro Latina. You know, my culture goes really deep, you know, and this is how I talk about it. And I do give, you know, I go to, and that's how we connect, Maurice, because I go to different locations to talk about the music.
And so let's just go back to bomba being used as mode of communication, because I know that when our ancestors was on plantations, they would use language, whether it was Christianity or now we know music as a way to communicate. Did they use it as a way to help each other become free as well?
Yes, they do. Yes, yes, they have used the music to help them become free. They also mute females when they dance. The location of the movement of the arms would speak about the location of how to hide. Also, their way of wearing their panuelo. I forgot how to say it in English, but you know how they put the oh my goodness, I forgot. But the head wrap that they use also tells the story, and also the braiding, how they braid their hair, talks about a trail of where to hide. So all this connects. All this connects.
So
You know?
basically, the braids were a roadmap to freedom.
Yes, yes,
Uh,
yes. It's amazing. You know, when I talk about this, I don't know how people could, you know, I've been to history classes, and sometimes, you know, teachers, when they talk about it, I'm like, I don't know how you don't get hyped talking about what our ancestors have left us and what we're learning and what we have to teach our youth. You know, to this day, it's amazing how our youth don't know about our culture. And I'm not only talking about Latina culture, because I know I'm here and I'm talking about the bomba, but I'm talking about in general. In general, there's the youth don't, you know, some youth, right? Because there are some that are really into knowing, but there's a lot that they don't want to know where they really come from, and it's really important.
well, so as you know, I'm the Northeast Regional Director of Hip Hop Congress, right? Hip Hop Congress is one of the largest hip hop organizations in the country, or networks. I would love to talk to you about doing some type of merging of bomba and hip hop, you
Oh,
know,
that'd be great.
because, well, hip hop comes from many different styles of music, right? Um, Blues, jazz. I mean, I don't know if you ever heard Guru and listened to his Jazzmatazz, but that was like really incredible. And then you look at like hip hop is a place where Latino and Black people, you know, meet, you know, connect, right? You know, from breaking to rhyming, graffiti, you know what I'm saying? But then it all gets disconnected when we allow corporations to come in and tell us who we are. And so we need to
Mm-hmm.
get back, we need to get back to that place of being like, no, this is who we are. And I think
Right.
these collaborations, right, and us controlling the narrative, our narrative allows us to do that. So I would definitely love to welcome you all into, you know, Hip Hop Congress. And I know some people be like, well, how? Right? Well, that's the problem. So many minds are so small, right? You know, when you go back to Run DMC and Aerosmith,
Mm-hmm.
people was like, yo, rock and rap, really? A lot of people didn't know that that rock music came from Black people either. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So that marriage right there was fitting. You know what I'm saying? So I would like to open up space in Hip Hop Congress where boomba can be embraced, and that drumming once again can also, you know, be heard. Because I'm gonna tell you, I see you all dance, right? And I can imagine what breakers would do to the sound of the drumming.
Oh, I would love, let me tell you, it touches when you hear the drums. Just that drum sound alone, it brings people back. It brings people to a place that um they never been in that place before. You know, I remember playing at universities that I had people crying, and I'm like, oh my goodness, and I'm hugging them. Why are you crying? And they're like, because you brought me to where I never been, which is wanting to know for real, where do I come from? And that connection right there, the hip hop and the bomba, you know, there's a video, Maurice, I gotta send it to you, hon, where they did reggaeton with bomba. So they did Spanish reggae with bomba together. And it came out beautiful. They had the drumming in the background, and the guy was rapping, and he was just expressing himself, talking about.
I think that was that the one where they did Decima as well? No?
I think so. I think you probably,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, because it was incredible because I remember for years I was like, yo, and this just me coming from the outside with reggaeton, I'm like, are they really gonna allow this to like just take over Puerto Rican culture and objectify the women and just destroy the culture? Is this really happening? And for years I asked myself from the outside looking in, being a conscientious observer, right? And what I noticed was that, like, you know, those who follow Tito Puente and all the greats and stuff like that was like, nah. But they didn't shun reggaeton. What they did was embrace the reggaeton artists and taught them about their culture, Decima,
Right.
Bomba, and this and that. And what happened was is that now you don't hear all that madness in reggaeton that we did like 10 years ago. You know what I'm saying? Because
Oh
it
yeah.
started the culture, the love and the truth, the struggle. When you learn about that, right, it turns you, right? It makes you an even greater person. And I've loved watching this journey in Puerto Rican culture, right? Like really looking at this journey. And I'm like, yo, when I saw that video, like other Puerto Rican people didn't understand what I knew, that I knew what was happening. They was like, yo, how do you know this, right? Like, we have this, like, our struggle is intertwined,
Right.
right? And when you look at how our struggle is intertwined, right, the people that share African blood, we make up the greater number of the people. That's why when people be like, oh, you're a minority, I'm like, no, we're not minorities. When we allow them to break us up into these subgroups, yeah, it feels like we're a minority. But when we look at our shared experience, no, we're the majority of the people. And therefore we need to like understand where we've come from and look at what our these stories and histories, and we need to put it together, and we need to work together to move forward. You know what I'm saying? So
Absolutely. You
yeah,
said it. You said it.
yeah, that video you're talking about, yeah, that was a pop matter. Do you know William Cupiano?
Wow, the name does sound familiar. I probably do know him.
He's a luthier. He's Puerto Rican and Jewish. He you know the T play. Oh, I gotta show you something. Hold on. Oh, you got me all excited. You know what this is?
Oh, yes. Oh my goodness.
I made this by hand.
You did?
I did.
Get out.
Yes.
Okay,
Don't
I want to hear.
don't ask me to play it.
Oh, you know, I was gonna ask you to play.
Don't,
I was like, well,
yeah, yeah.
what? You
Don't.
got?
One, it's out of tune, and
Okay.
then I don't know how to play it. But William Cupiano, right? You know that the D player was going into like extinction, right? And for the last 20, 30 years, William Cupiano has been going around the country teaching Puerto Ricans about the tiple and decima and teaching them how to make them. And that brought them out of extinction. He's been going to like Chicago with there was someone there that was a member of the Young Lords who became in politics and wanted to teach the Puerto Ricans, children, because there was nothing to do. And he was like, yo, we gotta teach them about our culture. And so once they were able to put their hands to work and to make something that they were connected to, it changed their lives. And so he'd go there every year in other different parts of the country to teach Latino youth on how to make the tiple. You know what I'm saying? So I need to connect you all, you know what I'm saying? Because this brother's really instrumental to tiple. And so I need to get you one of these.
You need to inbox me later. We gotta speak.
Okay. We'll do that. So I wanna move this conversation to a different place. And I want to tell you, we're with Brenda Lis Cepeda.
Cepeda, there you go. There you go.
From Bomba de Aquí.
De Aquí.
An incredible performance group that does Bomba, original culture. I don't want to say the wrong words here, but who displays the culture of Puerto Rico, that shared culture between the Taino, the Africans, and our struggle of becoming free from the imperialism of white dominance. And I think the greatest thing to actually share about that is that it's about love. It's about loving ourselves. It's about understanding ourselves, right? And so I want to thank you for coming in and speaking with us. I want to talk to you. I want you to tell us, being a woman and being a performer, what your experience has been like.
Ooh, how long is this show? How long is this rain?
Well, in about 3 minutes.
Oh, okay.
Well, you're welcome to come back anytime. And again, as men, we're going to listen, right? And so I have a question. I have some follow-up questions. But as a woman performer, let us know what your experience has been.
So, as a woman performer, as a woman director, because it's my group, I'm gonna say it's my group. I should say it's partly my husband's group, but I'm gonna claim it because I've been doing a lot of work. It's hard. It's hard as a female. It's still hard. And let me tell you why it's still hard. Because I'm a female. In back in the days, I'm just gonna give you a little history, and then I'm gonna get to why my struggle is what it is now. Females weren't allowed to play drums. The females that you see drumming, or the picture that you saw me practicing drumming, that was not allowed. You could sit down and speak to my father, and my father was like, "Oh yeah, females drumming." He'll give you that look, because back then our place was to dance. Our place was to be on the side and just being with our form, with our skirt, and our skirt couldn't go up a certain way. We had to maintain our posture. Our place was not drumming, not not doing any craziness that I'm not even talking about it, but it changed. You see females drumming, you see females dancing, you see females owning groups, but our struggle is still there. Why is our struggle there? Because it's who we work with. Because despite that, we're in 2021, right? and it's a 50-50, but it's still not a 50-50. I still struggle sometimes when it comes to getting musicians together, them listening to me, and them, not that I'm giving orders, but just saying, okay, let's do this way. It's still, I still get the look. I still get the, oh, but is your husband around? Let me speak to your husband. you know, I still have to have my husband by my side. Um, and that part right there is not hidden. It's there. It's still there. It's still there because I still get looks when and to a certain people, and sometimes it's in my own community, because even in my own community, or even in my own, I shouldn't even say my own community, even the people from Puerto Rico, or my Latinos, right? I still get that look like, oh, okay, she's giving orders, or she's in charge of the group, or okay, because it's that machismo way, you know, and and to this day, sometimes my husband would say, when I took that pic of me drumming and practicing, my husband's like, "Why are you drumming?" And I'm like, "But why not? Why can't I drum? Why can't I drum? Why can't I play the gua? Why can't I, you know, why do I only need to dance?" So it's still a struggle for females, because we are not sometimes respected to be the where we need to be at, where we need to be respected. The hard work, people don't see the hard work that I do. They sometimes they see that I'm just a female, and that I'm just dancing. Oh, wow, she could dance. But they don't see the paperwork. They don't see my discussions. They don't see my late nights putting things together, or trying to figure out what songs, or they don't see that. They sometimes see a female going up, talking, and just dancing, you know? Um, and I still struggle with that.
So, my question: was this an attitude that men, black men, Latino men, picked up under the imperialism structure of watching women being abused, or being abused by a slave master, so on and so forth? Or was this an attitude that we brought with us from Africa?
This was an attitude that to me is not brought in from Africa. This was what was going on in the area. Because you know what? It's not something that was brought, because in Africa, when the music came to us, females were dancing. Females held down everything. They held down everything. Their dancing, the household, and it was respected.
So just to
But
be clear, were women also drumming in African tribes as well?
there are some tribes that female African females would sing, dance, and I've seen videos that I've seen them with drums. And I have one here with me, and I'm trying to reconstruct it. So please excuse the right here. Do you see it?
I guess what I'm trying to get to is to understand whether or not this attitude that us as black men have towards our women, as to whether or not this came from our ancestors, or that was this adopted under imperialism. Because when we talk about being free means we must free ourselves of the ideologies that was adopted from imperialism, from white supremacy, which means that in order for us as black men to become free, we need to learn to love our women, not our women because you're not property, but to love the women of our communities the way that our
Right.
ancestors loved the women. So that's what I'm asking. That's what I'm asking.
Yes, I believe that this is not from our ancestors, because how they communicated back then is different from how, because look at the history that led up to now. A female's not being able to vote, a female's always being in the household, a female's not to be allowed to speak. Was that from our ancestors? Did that came from our ancestors? You know, I just feel that, I till this day, I still get looked upon a certain way because I'm the one that's the front face, and it's not from everyone. It's not from everyone, because if it was from every male in my group, or if it was from every male in general, then obviously it's a different discussion. But I still face certain walls. I still faces certain walls, and it's tough. It's hard as a female to get through those walls. Is it all over the place? No. Do I feel that it came from our ancestors? I feel that it's not, but looking at, if you do your reading, if you do your research, females did have it tough during our ancestors' times as well. But I still, my opinion is, I still face certain blocks, and just because I'm a woman, and sometimes it's because I'm a Latina woman. So it's tough. It's really hard.
I want to go and I want to show some videos of some performances done by Bombardier. You can just give me a moment here.
We did one. Remember, we did one together.
Yes.
Oh.
Give me 1 second. I want to.
There you go.
So if you can, tell us what was going on there.
Oh my goodness. If you really want the truth, I felt so tired after dancing. We got together and we decided to make a video, because during that time, and it's still happening. We're under COVID time, right? And unfortunately, there was a time period that nobody didn't step out. We couldn't step out. We had to stay home. What my world wasn't no more. So what I was used to, gigs and talking to schools, I was just home, being safe, right? So eventually, during that time, things were opening up slowly, and we said, let's do a video so people know that we're still here. And we got together and we did a video and we shared it to a couple people. I think the Puerto Rican parade wanted that video as well. We shared it to the Puerto Rican parade because they went virtual. And, you know, it's been a while since I danced. And when I danced there, I just felt an energy and a presence so strong. And I was just embracing it, you know, because it just felt so good to be able to dance like that. So it was, oh my goodness, I loved it.
How do you, I think that as a poet and the founder of Poetic Recovery, using poetry as a way to address issues between our communities, women and men of our communities, how do you feel that the men and women of our communities can communicate, listen to each other, and work on the problems that we have between each other? How do you feel? How do you best feel that that can happen?
I feel that, you know, by listening to one another, you know, knowing where that person came from. So if it wasn't a conversation, a perfect example is what's going on. Additional to my bomba de aquí, you know, I work as a special ed teacher at Palo Fair Social Justice Charter School. And right now, we have a training where the training teaches us to talk about ourselves. It talks about any racial stops, right? Any things that was hidden in our school that we weren't be we didn't talk about. We just kept on going, you know. So this workshop opened up a lot because since we never communicated about certain things, we were able to communicate it and use that space to communicate and speak about it. If we stop being in our bubble and allow ourselves, like say to my, so if I say to myself, okay, Brenda, I'm just gonna say it, and know that it's okay to say it respectfully, and the point is being across respectfully. We need to start doing that. We need to start having discussions. We need to open up, just like how I came in that circle and I went around the bate. We call it the bate, the circle. How I got in, I came out and I went around and I salute my husband to let him know that I'm going to express myself. We need to start doing that. We need to get into the circle and be open and willing to talk and communicate. And as I'm communicating with my skirt and dancing, he is following my movement. We're talking right there. He is seeing, he's watching, he's understanding me. And we as a community, we need to start doing that. We need to start understanding and saying that, you know, it's okay to have these discussions. You know, no more hiding. I'm in shock that, you know, I'm at a social justice school. We had this workshop and everybody was in the first day, everybody was kind of quiet. I was expecting some heavy duty. We're in day 3, so our heavy duty, we have good discussions now. But the first day was like, wow, we're about to have these discussions that we never had before, talking about race, talking about everything that's going on, you know? So this is how I feel that we as a people need to start communicating. People need to start opening the doors about the culture. Maurice, can I talk about my after school program real quick? Because it connects to that.
Sure.
Okay. My right now I'm doing a multicultural learning program. It's an after school program where I work with the youth, teaching them Puerto Rican culture through the arts. Right now, I'm connecting with a friend of mine where we're going to work together and also teach youth about African culture through the arts. So this is planting the seed. This is opening up where youth get to learn different cultures and feel comfortable about it and say it's okay. So once we plant the seed to the youth will grow and they will learn and they will open up and they want to learn and communicate some more. stuff, things that, you know, us adults need to start doing. Now, I'm not saying, you know, everyone, right? Because there's people that's already making these discussions, already walking the walk, you know. But there are some people that are still in their little bubble, and they just, you know, prefer to be like this, you know. So communication is a key. We need to start working with the youth. We need to start working with the youth. That's where I'm at.
I like to say we need to work with the parents and the youth, because
Oh yes.
when we work with the youth, then they go home, they pick this stuff up from the older people all over again. They go through the community, they pick it up all over again. If we work with the older adults and the youth, then they both can work with each other, right?
Right.
On these mechanisms, right? And I used to say that for the longest time. And then one day the Urban League came out and admitted that, like, we can't just only work with the youth, we have to work with the parents and the youth. Because if you're not giving the parents any like skills to get a job, not just like, oh, this is how you go and fill out a resume, but like, this is a hammer, this is pine wood, this is oak wood, this is that, this is a skill saw, this is this and that. This is what you could build with this wood. You could build this with that wood, right? Now the parent has real skills. Now the parent can go get a job. Now the parents bringing home money. You feel what I'm saying? Now the kid feels much better about their situation as part of the family, right? Now the
Right.
parents have better communication between each other, right? Now the parents feel better capable of rearing the children. Do you understand my point? So we need, then we need the program, and we need the programs for the youth as well. So we need to deal with both sides. I feel that just dealing with the youth was the right way of dividing our communities, right? And we stuck on that, and we need to get away from that. We need to work with the youth. We need to work with the whole family. You can't just work with the youth and not understanding the dynamics of the. That's just my opinion. You know what I'm saying? But I think we need to get both. But I do agree with you. We need to work with the youth, and I was gonna ask you about coming up with something within Hip Hop Congress, the Northeast region, where maybe once a month we bring people together, maybe once every 2 months, and we have these discussion, between hip hop artists, between men and women, right? And we listen to each other around certain topics, but we go back with a plan of action into
Yes.
our communities. Would you be up for something like that?
Of course, just you already know. You already know. I've been dying to, let me tell you something. You know, a lot of people who know me, you know, I have a routine. You know, I go to work. Um, you know, after work, I'm home, I'm with the kids, I'm with the family. Some days I'm doing gigs, some days I'm at the studio. I just recently decided to take a leap. Some new changes are coming up, which I'm so excited because the reason why I want to do these changes is because I want to be out there more. You know, I want to be more in my community. I want to learn more from others. Um, I want to be out there and be able to give information and help as much as I can, but also receive information. I always say that you should never stop learning. You know, I'm always learning. I'm always taking classes. I'm always picking up a book. Right now, I'm reading a book that talks about the slaves in Puerto Rico and how their routine was. You know, I'm always learning. And so I'm making a change. You're gonna find out soon on Facebook, and it's going to free me up some time. But you know, I'll be working in my own business, but that time that I'm going to have free, I'll be working and collaborating with anybody who's willing to collaborate with me and with the community, you know.
Yeah, let me know, because I'm all about making other people money so I can make some money. the
And
commission.
listen, I'm gonna inbox you and say, hey, I'm free now. What's up?
Hey. No, I love the work you do. I want to thank you for, being front and center. I really appreciate you. Um, wow. Thank you for everything that you do. I
No,
really,
thank you. I think Sean wrote something in the chat, but I don't know how to read. I'm still learning how to use
yeah,
WebEx.
there's a little circle that says chat. He wrote, I think that's a dope idea, guys. I would love my daughter to be involved with that multicultural workshop that you all have coming up. Is there anything that you feel that need to be addressed celebrating Women's History Month? You being a woman, a mother, performer, that you feel that needs to be said that could help us heal what's going on between the women and men of our community? Is there anything that you feel that you need to say again? After this is done, none of us as men are going to comment on anything that you said because that's not our place. You don't need our validation. What I feel that you need is our respect, right? And our honor, and that's what we're going to give to you this evening in celebration of Women's History Month. So is there anything that you feel that you need to say?
Yes, continue working and uplifting your ladies. I'm talking about in general, Latina, African, uplift all ladies, because that's what we need. And ladies ourselves, we need to uplift ourselves and uplift our sisters and continue working together. And it's really, really important. Every day I put something positive on Facebook. I try to put something positive. I'm always checking in on my females. I'm also checking in on my friends that are males. I'm always having that bond together, always. And please, I always as I tell the youth too, talk to your grandparents, talk to your grandmother, talk to your mom, get information, uplift. We need to work together. There should be no separation. Oh, she's a female, she has to be home, you know um she's with the kids, she's limited. No, I'm not limited. you know I have kids, yes, but I'm leaving something for my kids. So I want to work, I want to be out there, I want to be in the community, I want to work with the community, I want to work with my sisters and my brother, and I want to leave something for my kids, and I want my kids to see the respect that I should have, because I'm out there working and providing as well. There's a thing, Maurice, it's so funny. My husband has another band. It's called the Chocoban, where they do merengue and salsa. So they always bother my husband, and they're like, oh, in Spanish they say, where's the boss, where's the boss? And so everybody's pointing at me, and I'm like, oh, snap. And my husband would get so angry. He's like, I don't know why they always say you're the boss. And I said, well, hon. Ah,
How long has Bomba de Aquí been around? I feel like it's been around like 20 years, but how long has this been?
it's been around for 5 years. It's gonna make 6 years now. Now
Because I remember
besides
the guy that dances, he's been dancing since he was a kid. Because
Zachary,
I remember
yes.
I remember being you remember in Holyoke where there was a lot of killings going on, like about
Mm,
15 years ago. I was brought into Holyoke with Jaime Shaggy Flores to use poetry as a way to teach the kids how to release their anxiety and their stress watching people get killed in their lawns and stuff like that. And I remember at Nueva Esperanza, they would come
yep.
in and they would do that. That's why I first got introduced to bomba. The bomba.
Yep, Zachary's been dancing since he was, oh my goodness, since he
Yeah.
was little.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
And when we started our group, Zachary came and he started to, we connected, and ever since then, we stayed together, and it's through the works of Nueva Esperanza. I just want to say here, if you start something, finish it, right? It's really important. And I know what I'm saying, Maurice. I'll inbox you later. But if you start something, finish it. If you are known as a place where people could come in and you be united and speak about culture, or a space for Latinos, or whatever the mission is in the beginning, it has to be the same mission, or or even grow, right, because your mission statement changes within time, right? But it has to be consistent of what you're doing, you know. I've seen many places that they, have that space, but then within time, they, it's not that space no more. It's about giving like $400, $500 to have that space, always remember why you start what you started, okay? And why you want to make connections, and why you need to continue doing what you're doing and being consistent, that's really important. I met Zachary during that time that you were speaking about, Maurice, during Holy of Time, and there was um I don't have a keys. Give me a sec. Sorry, my husband's leaving. I can't switch the camera. Oh no, I don't know how to work it, so I'm not gonna give him any, showing time. Um, you know, through
Please tell me I
Holy,
said hello and give them my best.
I will. Through Holyoke, years ago. But what I've noticed is that things have been changing. People are not in the same place where they used to be. And it's kind of scary because you're like, okay, well, doors start closing right in front of you, you know, but yet when the doors start opening and they need help, or someone needs help, you remember when the doors were closed. It's always good to be consistent. It's always good to go based on your mission. If your mission is a certain mission, continue working with your community, and continue making it better, making it work. Reach out to people, connect with people, uplift our sisters, not throw the door in their faces. We all go through different changes, we all go through different circumstances, but we need to find a way where we could say, okay, well, you know what, I can't help you 100%, but I'm going to give you 80% at least, or 70%, you know and that's where things start kind of separating. Sometimes I don't get acceptance even from my own people. And that's another discussion. But, we just need to look back and be consistent of what we do and what we say. That's my little spiel, Maurice. I'll give you the inbox about that later.
I want to thank you so much for coming on tonight. Allowing me to interview you. Thank you so much. Thank you for all that you do. And I wish you an incredible amounts of success.
Thank you. Thank you. I think my computer, okay, I came back on. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thank you. I hope you have a good evening.
Yes, you too. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Bye, guys. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
So, Jerry, Sean,
Yeah.
how y'all doing tonight?
Not bad, brother. Not bad. How are you doing, Maurice?
I'm doing all right.
What you say? I can't hear you.
I said, how are you doing tonight?
I'm doing good. I'm
That's
doing good. I was just listening to the interview and making some notes and taking some notes.
So let me
And
hold on.
yeah.
We're well,
So who else is on?
it's just us, but we're gonna do something
Yeah,
between.
man, I can't hear you, man. Your volume is down.
What are you talking about? You can't hear me, Sean. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Can you hear me good?
Yeah. I hear that little drumming, something drumming back there.
Yo, I think it's you. I think it's you.
Maybe he can try checking like the audio connections, because that's what I had to do like 30 minutes ago. Click back out of the audio connection, click back in, and that worked for me. Maybe you can try that.
Yeah, no, I got my audio full on.
Hmm.
But
Yeah, because I was listening to the interview. I mean, the volume was good. It's just like in the last, like in the last couple of minutes. Yeah, I'm losing audio on you.
Mm-hmm.
hold on. Jerry, can you hear me?
Yeah, that's better. That's
I
better. It's still low, but it's better. It's better than it was a couple minutes ago.
All right. So we got about half an hour left. I want us to write a poem, right? But I want us to focus on how we as Black men can work together to create a space for healing for each other. And I think that will go a long ways in terms of us supporting our sisters and the healings of our sisters. What do you think?
Okay. I agree.
Sean, why I can't see your video, Sean?
Oh, because my camera doesn't work.
Man, listen, you got to get that fixed, bro.
Yeah, I know. I got the phone fixed. It took me a while for the phone to get fixed, so I don't know how long this gonna be, but we're gonna see. We're gonna see.
What do you think about that, Jerry, in terms of that poetry writing? Jerry?
Yeah.
Did you hear what I said?
No.
I said that we got time to write a poem, and I think the topic of our poem should send brothers creating space for our own healing.
Oh
And
no, I heard that.
Okay.
No, I caught that.
What do you think about that? You think that's a good topic to write about, or you got another idea?
Well, I think it's a good topic to write about. But it's not directly on the focus of history of Women's History Month.
Of course,
I mean,
it
it connects with it, but it's not. It's more of an indirect link.
Check this out.
Women's History Month.
Check this out. We come from women, do we not? Hello?
Yeah, we do.
Okay then. And so the women of our communities rely on us, do they not?
Well, no, I see the connection. I'm not saying it's not. I'm not saying it's not.
So let me
not relevant.
let me just follow the road, right? If
Yeah,
we're
no,
broke,
it's linked.
if
No,
we are,
it's
hold
definitely
on,
linked.
absolutely, and it's a direct link. Because if our sisters cannot rely upon us to be strong enough to do what we need to do to hold things down, right, then we're going nowhere. And so we need to like focus on healing ourselves. Perhaps that's what we need to do right now. So that because the women of our communities have been holding it down for quite some time, while we've been broke as hell spiritually, mentally, physically, and not doing the damn thing to get to the healing space that we need. Perhaps that's the work we need to do right now.
Okay.
I'm just saying. I mean, it's not popular amongst Black brothers.
You're right.
But a lot of us is drinking, doing drugs, making excuses as to why we should be doing all that. All that money is going to corporations that support the likes of Donald Trump, that supports laws and bills to like destroy our communities even more. Perhaps that's the way we need to honor the history of the women in our communities by addressing the issues that really need to be addressed within us.
Okay. Okay. Okay, Maurice.
They don't always need our validation, bro.
Yeah, you're right.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, if we was doing what we supposed to be doing, then, and I'm not saying all of us aren't, but let's face it, man, there's a sickness going on in our community right now. Right? There's a virus. And we got to address that virus. And it's not called COVID-19. It's called internalized depression. And however that manifests. Go ahead.
I agree. I totally agree.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna play some music, man, and let's get to writing, man. You know what I'm saying? Hopefully this starts a movement. This is Tim Bless. We're glad to be alive.
Glad to be alive in this moment. Take control of my life because I own it. Having fun, making moves, staying focused in this life. It's life. Glad to be alive in this moment. Take control of my life because I own it. Having fun, making moves, staying focused in this life.
Life, destiny, it's the best of me. High frequency, my weaponry is reality, principality. I and I so tough, rock side, many means. I'm them, like a lover, 7 seas. I'm them, the best memories in this moment. Beyond fantasy, like a hush, made by trees. The leaves, flutter in the breeze. Silent like this beat, without further speech. So unique, I go on my ego, let this moment breathe. I'm so thankful. So grateful today, I'm the late home. Or a sky boy, yellow bright hates. Balance in stereo.
Glad to be alive in this moment. Take control of my life because I own it. Having fun, making moves, staying focused in this life. This life. Glad to be alive in this moment. Take control of my life because I own it. Having fun, making moves, staying focused in this life. In this life. In the tight space, I was born to lead. Know what it takes to live my dreams. tight, you know you bleed to a 180. Spit up sweet, I look for the light. Y'all take a beat, they gon' take it for the so break it through cheese. I don't like to do it, change what you see. Fast, your own problems, control it. But this my one, you ain't gotta agree. I ain't got another choice, so I gotta commit. Incarcerated so long, I'm glad to be free. So, don't bounce, you don't pay my own rent. Don't bounce, deal back to be alive, just know me. Take control of my life, all day. I've been about making moves, staying focused in this life. In this life, got to be alive, just know me. Take control of my life, cause I own it. I've been about making moves, staying focused in this life. This life.
I gotta shine bright, giving thanks in the morning, waking up from the night. Take a chance to advance with this moment is right. In advance with the glance that you gave me little light. I think it's my right, but I'm married with the right night. On stage, flying like a kite. Music is my wings. Watch a stage flight when the screen goes snap. Reaching new heights, long time
To be alive, just know me. Take control of my life, cause I own it. I've been about making moves, staying focused in this life.
just like
Got to be alive, just know me. Take control of my life, cause I own it. I've been about making moves, staying focused in this life.
in this life.
Life.
This life. In this,
Stay focused.
yeah, in this life. In this moment. Take control, y'all, of your life. Manifest your dreams. Wake up in the morning, give thanks. Yes. Lives, balance, the mind, spirit, yeah. Yes, yes. Yes. In this life, in this life.
Always.
Yes. That's energy. Corey Jones, Ian Campbell, Calvin Grace, the Everest, Tim West, that's Tim Chief, Rotary Record Studio,
Well, man, Jamal, prove yourself.
you want to be an all-star. You have what it takes to beat the rest, to be the best. So it takes a certain kind of person to persevere, work through fear and pain to maintain. That's why the name came brains. Yo, this key is faded, belt worn feet, impatient. There's people waiting impatient. He don't see their faces, he senses. Remember
Remembering that he must keep the basics of what he's been training, even what his teachers gave, because he knows how. His whole style's focused down, he's honed it. Now there's no out blowing in times, he's going wild. His throat explodes and shouts, there's no one else. Every blow is flowing, he's like, snap back, every strike of his beat exceeds making these people seem breaking, but he just keeps making his beat, just keeps sliding like he was re-slaying and reaching heights to win and defeat. What's inside of his teeth is all scorn and esteem, it's all heart. They're deep to be the meanest you've seen in the martial arts supreme. It all starts with a dream to become the machine with small parts to extreme. The bomb of your head. The goal is the goal, you show me. Cause every night works fine. It's the chance to grow when it fails. So we go with the toe. To show me it's all it's when it falls. So get it right now. Deep soul, cause you show me. They told the baby when she's older that they'd see if she could go in the main ring. So training, she would move forward, a true soldier to go when no one forced her and do more than people ask of her. She just kept standing to be the best every week. She sweat swagger, even the opponent she beats a bit better than fast. Her hands and her feet just hit quicker, and she reacts faster. Each one can't match her. She leaves her first place, and these people can't catch her. The tactics that she receives, she has mastered exactly what she needs to defeat the bad habits with no fear, even the creeps that she meets in the street to have laughter and even mass attackers. The feet sweep, taking out knees, they crash backwards, they back slap, throw like a piece of glass. Y'all have a it's the moment you show that every pro, cause every night works fine. It's the chance to grow when it fails, so we go with the toe. To show me it's all it's when it holds, so get on it right now. Deep the soul, cause you know now let me tell you one thing, a true martial artist always starts off in the heart regardless. So ask yourself, do you have what it takes to laugh in the face of adversity in that race to the first degree? Cause if you want to make it in this game, you have to know.
All right, brothers, y'all ready?
Yeah.
Jerry, you there? Brother Jerry, where art thou? Sean, what you got? What you got, Sean? What you got?
All right, let me bring this up. All right, let's see. All right. This poem is called Safe Space. Safe space. Usually, everywhere should be a safe place. A safe space for women, alive and free. Safe space. What is a safe space? What is a safe place? What is it to be safe? Well, many have many views what that may mean or where that can be. Safe space, a place where I believe every creator should be able to be free in a very safe space. I just wish one day we as people can find that relatable, safe space for our beautiful creator. One day there will be a safe place, but we have to make it safe for our creators. Just like the beginning of time, a safe space. That's it.
Thank you, bro. I appreciate it. Thank you. Jerry?
Got it.
Jerry, you there?
Yeah.
You ready?
Yeah, I'm here. Yeah, I got something started, man, but I'm just it's really kind of in a pre-write stage, man. You know, I mean, I can read what I've got.
Yeah, read what you got and then finish it and then bring it back next week.
All right. All right. So, yeah, I just want to just a very, very brief preface on this to the writing task at hand. Yeah, it's about what we as Black men need to do in order to support the women's cause in general and the women in our community in particular. So anyway, this is what I got. Once upon a time in America, it's time, once again, as it's always been, time for Black men to rise up, to arise and to upend the game. To the heart, to the core, to the crux of the matter, we need to respect self, ourselves, and confront our hearts and minds. Yeah, that's as far as I got.
Thank you. I look forward to finishing.
All right.
Yeah. Yeah, so the other piece that I was working on to bring to the group, which is still a work in progress, is about, it's a piece I titled Chanel Number 5. I'm not going to read it, but it's a piece I titled Chanel Number 5, and it's about basically the enslavement of women by the makeup and fashion industry. But that's another piece. I'll get to that later in the month. But yeah, man, I like the interview, man, was pretty deep. And so the sister's name, I just want to make sure I have this correct. The sister's name was Brenda Leese.
Brenda Zapata.
Zapata?
Zapata.
Zapata?
Yeah.
Like SOPADA?
No, CECPEP da. Cepeda.
Oh, Cepeda. Okay, like Orlando.
I don't know who Orlando is.
Orlando Cepeda, baseball player.
I guess, yeah.
All right, and so yeah, so that was pretty deep. Her organization was Boomba de Aki.
Yep.
Okay. All right. Yeah, and just briefly, so a lot of what she was saying was resonating with me.
Jerry.
Yeah, you may recall. I think I mentioned it in this group last week.
Jerry.
That
Jerry.
Yeah.
We are not commenting on what she had to say. As men, we're sitting with what she had to say and moving on for it. I explained that last week and this week. So many times when the sisters of our community speak, we feel that we have to validate their words. That's not happening during Women's History Month. We're listening to them, and that's it. We just have to accept that, what they said is what they said. And that's our gift to the women of our communities this month.
Okay, so to your point.
Yes, sir.
I took that to mean that we were going to let them speak. We're not offering them commentary.
Exactly.
On what they're saying. All right. So I'm not making commentary on what she was saying. Okay. But I think we as brothers, we still need to process. We ourselves need to still process this, what we're hearing. That's part of the whole focus of the group, is that we're processing things. As we're taking in new information, we're processing it among ourselves. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, my point was not to comment on anything that she said,
okay,
but basically just to say that what she was saying resonated with me because it was the whole thing about the Boomba movement. I had first heard about that from the series that Henry Louis Gates did on the history of the black man in the Americas. So that's all that's the only thing I wanted to say. That was a connection in my brain, you know.
Yeah, I really, Henry Louis Gates, like I'm kind of frustrated with him, but I will say, man, he does cover some great information. He really does. And
He does.
he brings some really good stuff to light, man.
He does, and I mean he's like anyone else. I mean he's human, and so yeah, there's stuff that yeah, I mean he has his own stuff, but at any rate, yeah, he did a series on the black man in the Americas that covered North America, South America, and the islands as well. And this part of it, the Boomba piece of it, yeah, that's where I first became familiar with that.
All right, thank you. Yeah, I just wanted to make sure that I just wanted to make sure that. Thank you. Thank you.
Yep.
You think you can finish that piece for us next week? For next week?
I'm gonna work on it.
Man, I would love to hear what comes out of it.
Yeah, I'm gonna work on that.
This piece right here, I titled it Brother. It goes like this. I'm here wondering if fear of death is greater than death itself. Bound to an emotional response, 1,000,000 reasons not to stand, 1,000,000 reasons to hide with the bottle. In the clouds of smoke, missing the sun, the rain, stranger to the clouds. We're Greci's crazy, makes us mad. We never mention of being grateful for birth. Yet we both thirst, dismissing our tears as weakness. I'm gonna sit here and listen to the cries of my soul. We're stronger than this. We're better than this. This duplicity we characterize as actions of a man. When it takes resources from home, I'm gonna dig deep. I'm gonna hear the cries of my inner child and morph into a mighty man. Take a stand, build a foundation, create a battalion of soldiers that'll live for the love of our survival. We shouldn't be our own rival, brother. That's all I got.
That is that's a piece in itself, man. That's a finished piece. I like that.
Thank you, man. Man, I appreciate y'all for, coming through. What you got going on for the week? For the rest of the week? For the weekend?
I've got a tomorrow I'm plugging into our group, the Right Up Springfield group. So I'm gonna be doing that tomorrow, and then for the rest of the weekend, man, I'm gonna try. Well, I'm not gonna try. I'm gonna actually get out and soak in some of this pre-spring weather. Just kind of get outside and get out and see what's out, and you know what I mean. Because it's been a long winter, and so I need to kind of just stretch out and breathe a little bit. I might even get out on the golf course, man. I got a set of clubs last summer, And I don't go on the golf course. I just go out on the driving range. Yeah, so I might get out and do that at some point over the weekend if weather permitting.
Okay. You know, I haven't been wanting to golf it, but you know, maybe one day if you want to show me how to swing, man, that'd be cool.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I go up to this club in the Ledges in South Hadley. Yeah, basically, man, just go out on the driving range or just the practice range, they call it. Most driving ranges, they have like signs showing like the distances, like 700 feet or however many feet. This one doesn't, man. You just hit balls and yeah. So it's nice, yeah, man. That would be yeah. If you ever be down for doing that, yeah, that could work.
What you got going on this weekend, Sean?
Nothing really. Just relaxing. Yeah, pretty much. Maybe doing some home stuff. So actually, you know what? I'm gonna be doing some backyard work, basically. Actually, yeah. So I'm gonna be doing that. But other than that, that's really it. And hanging out with the family, you know.
All right.
What are you doing in your backyard?
Basically, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna work on I gotta fix some of the wooden fences from each side. Got to do some sweeping. Got to do some planting. We're gonna plant some shrubs and a couple flowers and stuff like that for the springtime.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah, get some dirt under your fingernails and stuff, man. You know.
Yeah, love to get dirty.
There's nothing more spiritual, man, than working the land. You know.
Exactly.
I agree
hear
with that. I definitely agree with that. Hey, Jerry, man, Sean.
Mm-hmm.
I appreciate you, brothers, man. Thank you all for celebrating Women's History Month with me this week. Jerry, you're the elder. You got somebody you think we should celebrate next Friday?
No one comes to mind in particular.
Well, can you let me know before next Friday? Pick a sister of the African diaspora, right? And we can read about it.
All right, yeah. Okay, yeah. I will text you on that.
All right, and we'll read about her next month, and she'll be the sister that like I read Betsy Coleman today.
Mm-hmm.
She'll be the one that we read about next Friday.
All right, cool.
All right.
Yep, that works.
Thank you all very much, man. It's been a beautiful night. I'm going to end this with T Swan's motivation.
T Swell, my boy.
Yo, Sean, man, I hope your daughter's feeling better.
Yeah, she is. Thank God.
Keep being an amazing pops. Jerry, thank you very much. We're going to keep growing, brothers. We got this.
All right, guys. Hopefully you guys have a
all
good
right.
night.
We'll connect next week.
There's some brothers doing some amazing work. We got to keep doing it. We got to keep doing it. Thank you, brothers, for being here.
Motivation. I gotta go and get it. I ain't sitting around and waiting. What's your dreams? What's some shit? Tell me how you.
I want to thank y'all for tuning in another Friday. Tonight, March 12th, 2021. We had Brenda Lisa Bedon, the one of the directors, founders of Bomba de Aquí, spoke with us about the history of Bomba, dancing, being a woman and a performer. I want to thank her for her wisdom, information that we can sit with as brothers, what it is that we can do to work on the issues between us and the women of our communities. Next, tonight I read about Betsy Coleman, who was the first Black aviator. Amazing feats, what she went through to achieve her dream. So that was an incredible read. I want to thank you all for celebrating Women's History Month with us. My name is Maurice Soulfighter Taylor. I wish you all the best. Have a great weekend and a beautiful week.